Okay, so you have a Maytag washer and it's making noise while the water's emptying. It's important to diagnose where the noise is coming from and why. So in this case, we know it's making noise. It's only making noise though when the machine is draining. It does not make noise when water is going in. It does not make noise when it's agitating, moving the clothes around. This indicates we have an issue with our drain pump or our drain motor here in the back. What we're gonna do is just gonna take the back of this off, look at the motor. Most of the time there's something stuck inside of it. It's good to go in and clean it out and make sure there's nothing inside. If there is nothing inside and it's still making this noise, then you'll need to replace it. But this machine itself is only 2.5 years old, so I'm thinking there's gotta be something inside of this. But to do this job, you're gonna need only a few simple tools to look at this. One, we're gonna need a Phillips screwdriver, and two, we're gonna need some dirty rag, or a rag in general, just to absorb up the water. So let's take this apart quickly, look inside, and see what we've got. So just to get started here, we're gonna take off, there's 4 screws on the back. We just wanna remove this panel so we can look at the pump. Okay, and if you look at the panel, there's 2 tabs on the top, 2 tabs on the bottom. It just holds the sheet of metal in. The metal itself is actually pretty flexible, so you're just gonna grab it in the middle and kind of pull out a little bit. What we wanna do is bow this so that the distance of this panel gets shorter and we can unhook it from at least one of these edges, either the top or the bottom. Okay, so next here, we're just gonna take off this little cover. You don't technically need to take it off, but it just makes it a lot easier so then the hose can move that's down in here. So we'll unscrew this screw. This screw is a little longer than the other 4 screws that hold the panel on, so just keep that in mind when you put it back together. Okay, so now that's just disconnected. Gives us a little bit of wiggle room here. So this here is the motor. Mine looks a little bit loose. It has a little paper thing on top, but all we need to do here is just undo one side or both sides here, these 2 tubes, and just look and see what's actually inside of here. So all you need to do is pinch this tab. You could use pliers if you want, but I'm just using my hand. Pinch these together. It'll make the ring bigger, and then wiggle it back and forth so that it comes off of the hose. And then take your towel and slide it underneath the machine because we're gonna have water come out. At this point you can just remove the hose. And now you just wanna reach inside here with your hand and see if there's anything inside. Oh, okay. And in this machine I have a metal collar stay from one of my dress shirts. I'm sure that's what's causing it. If you reach back in, you can feel there's a little blade or a little propeller. It spins and pushes the water out. I can feel that, but I can't feel anything else. I can actually feel down in front of this black tube. So at this point, there's really no reason to take apart anything else. We're gonna put it back together and see if it fixes it. I'm sure it will, because if you look at this piece of metal, this collar stay here, it is bent. So that just means that this has been stuck in the motor and hasn't been working well. But that's the fix here, so let's just put this back together, put the hose back in, slide the hose back on. Again, pinch these 2 wings together on this ring and slide it over a little piece of plastic here on the end. Might need 2 hands to do that. All right, now use the rag. I'm gonna wipe up a little more of the water here just to clean the floor up. This piece of plastic to put it back in, you don't know if you can see or not, but on the bottom here, there is a tab down here. The metal machine, the wall here, will go between this tab and the body of the cover. So put the bottom in first. Okay, it slides in. Then there's a little stud at the top that's plastic that'll go in the hole. And then we'll put this screw back in. No need to tighten it too tightly, just a little bit. All right, and then finally we're just gonna take this back piece again. If you look on the back of it, it has two little indents on both sides. This just helps you align where the tabs are gonna go on the top and the bottom. And the only reason this matters is so that you can align the holes on both sides to put these screws back in. So set the bottom in first, makes it easiest. Making sure the two little indents on the panel here kind of line up with the tab. At this point you can push it against the machine and see it's gonna line up here with the holes. So now we can bend this out a little bit and get this panel underneath the tabs, then push the middle so it flattens again, and then just put the 4 screws in. If the screws are not put on snug enough, this panel will actually rattle and you'll get a lot of noise. But just a few rotations here and there and you should get these tightened up. And then we're just gonna put the hose back in its clamp, slide the machine back in place, and that's it. That's our quick fix here for cleaning out the drain motor on the back of a top load Maytag washer.